This is Chennai Live 104.8 FM on Power Breakfast with the boss. Sharing his amazing journey with me this morning is Mr. Sujith Cherian, the Managing Director of KFJ. Hi, Sujith, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We've always seen you as this man, who's always brought something really different to Chennai when it comes to gold space per se. Tell us a bit about your background. Where are you from?
I am from Chennai. Though I was born in Kerala, I was brought up all the way in Chennai. I schooled in Chennai. I collegiated in Chennai. So I'm a Chennaiite with more of a Chennaiite mentality. Come from Chennai, so I believe I'm absolutely
a Chennai boy.
Chennai boy.
A true Chennai boy, groomed in Chennai city. So, how were you back then in school and college? What were your dreams and ambitions? Was it very clear, I'm going to become an entrepreneur? How was it like?
Yeah, it so happened that way because I lost my father very early in life. I lost him when I was 10, 11. And he was heading our business, and he took it to great heights, and he handed it over to my mom. We were only 4 children at that time. I had a very little brother who's now married, and he's doing very well too. So we were 4 children, and I was just 11 at that time. So I had nothing to do with the business. I was a jolly good fellow. I was just playing around. But then when I realized that I had to get into the business, I realized, we were all in the jewelry business. We are a family of jewelers. So we decided I had to get into the business and to take up the mantle of my father. So I did that, and by God's grace, I'm where I am today.
Right. So, at 11, that kind of realization must have been tough for you to digest. Or was it, you just took it in your stride and say, let me go ahead and do it?
No, not really. See, at 11, I was like an 11-year-old. I did not realize the importance of taking over the mantle. I was a playful boy, like any other child. But then by the time I was 18, I was quite responsible. I decided, this is my way, and I had to take care of my mother, my sisters, my little brother. So I had to get into the business and somehow journey. By the time a lot of these jewelers had mushroomed in Chennai, his delicensing of jewelry, gold jewelry had happened, and a lot of competition. But then anyway, when you are in the midst of a lot of swimmers, and then you fight it out and come out successful, then is when your thrill is. So I always like this daunting task of fighting it out with the others. But then it's not a fight really, it's a competition. It's a sportive competition. But then what's happening today is not really competition. It's just dead rubber. I mean, people are just fighting with each other for no reason, and jewelers are talking ill about the other. I mean, it's like you talking ill about your own brother, saying that this guy is cheating you, that guy is cheating you, these guys are giving gifts. We have the invoices of all these jewelers who are talking like that. Right. We show our customers, this is how he charges you when you get to him. So people who are educated will understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely. You have to treat them like your own brethren is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
You're all, brothers from the same blood. You said it was very clear path was set out for you. You had to take care of your family. But apart from that, what were your other interests? What did you want to become?
In my younger days, I wanted to become a pilot, but then I was not tall enough to become a pilot. So but then again, it all changes by years, So as the days went by, my passion was more towards jewelry, because I knew that was my way forward, and I used to keep wondering why God put me in this position. But then I realized that I had a very good passion for selling, and whenever I talk to people, I talk a lot to them. I try to understand a lot from them and try to learn a lot from them. So I think I'm a good salesman. That's what I say. I assume that I am, and people around me also think so. But I talk a lot, and I also try to hear a lot of things from my customers.
So that's how your learning happened. Talking to people helped you reach where you are. So 18, you had to take it up. What happened next? What were the initial challenges that you had?
Very simple. See, I'll tell you. See, what I realized is it was not, the going was going to be tough, because a lot of jewelers, a lot of competition. I was young. There were more serious players with mustache. I did not have a mustache. People used to say you grow a mustache, so people will take you serious. But then, I realized that this is in my blood. It comes from my father, grandfather. So I'll have to be in this business, and whether they take me serious or not. And I realized, gold, buying gold for the poorer or from the lower strata of life is going to be difficult in the future, because the rickshaw puller or the auto driver or those kind of people are going to find it difficult to buy gold. I was always worried that they were wearing only gold covering or imitation jewelry. Not that they did not like, not that nobody likes to
buy gold. Who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? So we all have, by God's grace. I mean, God's grace, or we are all lucky children where we born to. Born with a silver spoon or a golden spoon, but the people from the lower strata, they are deprived of such opportunities. So I thought we should start something for them, and that's how I started. When I was 18 or 19, I started my first jewelry scheme. I still remember one constable in a police station. He won we had this prize scheme at that time,
right.
And I wanted to give something away, so I gave him away a kinetic Honda at that time, and I could see the cheer on his face. I could see the happiness on people's face, and they also bought jewelry, as well as we gave away a lot of prizes, like the Maruti S team at that time.
Right.
We gave away a house, a small apartment worth 5 lakhs at that time. A lot of gold coins, and we also helped thousands, or even I would say hundreds of thousands of people buy gold through savings.
So were you the pioneer in that sense to come up with the gold scheme?
I won't say I was a pioneer, because there are older people than me. See, but I will tell you something. As far as I know, it's my grandfather. He used to run something called, in Kerala, there is this business called chitti. Okay, chitti means not that chitti in robo, but I'm saying the chitti means chit schemes for people who want to pay money over months and then take money and use it for business. So my grandfather used to do this, and when he started his business in Chennai, in Ranganathan Street, he ventured into a small scheme like this, which was 15 months, and he helped people buy. But then I will tell you, he was, and from the older generation, he was not very good probably at marketing his scheme. The other jewelers took up his idea and marketed it pretty well, and today the pioneer jeweler in Chennai is thriving on his idea, I would say.
Also the new trend is about buying gold in form of bonds. What is your advice with that?
Well, see, those are all, I will tell you very simple. Without any physical possession of gold, these guys are trying to sell paper. We are selling physical possession of gold. In the sense, you can possess your gold, whereas the ETFs or company wealth management, they are trying to sell paper gold, which is, this is like, according to me, I am against that, because this is like taking the public for a ride. Of course, they can redeem it at any point of time. But then that's only an investment. But today, yes, the prices have risen, so people who have invested make a sum. But then if the prices fall, what happens? If the prices come down, what happens? You're going to lose. So you don't physically possess gold, you cannot wear it. You're just keeping the paper in your locker and going and redeem it. Whereas when you buy gold jewelry, you can wear it, you can flaunt it, and still you can liquidate it when you want to.
Right. So what are future plans for KFJ? What next?
Well, KFJ, my future plans for KFJ is, as I told you, as always it has been, helped the people, the underprivileged or people who are deprived of buying gold to be able to buy gold, help the people who cannot buy diamonds to buy diamonds, do the best that we can. It's not that this is some business that we cannot enter into or do. Gold has helped millions of people amass wealth. So we're trying to help the middle class, the lower middle class, the upper middle class to come up and make their wealth through buying gold.
Absolutely. And what has been by far, and the final question to you would be, as an entrepreneur, you have faced through a lot of challenges. What is probably, is there a story that you'd like to share, or your mantra that really works for you? What would that be?
My mantra is Kingdom of Heaven.
Sorry, you were saying?
My simple mantra is seek God, and everything takes care of itself.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And what would be probably the biggest challenge that you had as an entrepreneur? What was a tough situation where you fought, you saved your team? What would that be?
Well, I fought, only with God on my side. I always believe that without Jesus, there is no way forward. So my strength is in Jesus. So nothing else comes. My wisdom comes from God. Everything else comes second.
Okay. So God is your guiding light.
Absolutely.
And what about some of the mistakes? Is there any mistake that you really regret? Which one would that be?
I don't regret anything. Yesterday was my wedding anniversary. I stood in front of. Yeah, thank you. Yesterday I stood in front of a cross and said, everything that you've given me, my wife, my lovely children, my parents, my sisters, my brother, my house, my business, my employees, my customers, everything is a gift of God. Though I am a bloody sinner, I'm no good. I'm the king of sinners. I'm no good. Still, God has taken care of me. So, what more do I want? I'm only thanking God for keeping me as His beloved one, and I'm only praying that He keeps me like that and keeps me away from committing faults.
Right. The one thing I've learned from you is humility. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. Okay. You've also introduced a scheme where one can save up for diamonds. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, this is another place where a lot of youngsters or a lot of people who are today working and all are deprived of buying diamonds, because they see more people wealthy buying diamonds. So here I've given an opportunity not only for them to possess their favorite diamond jewelry, but also they're craving to go on a vacation to Switzerland. See, I will tell you, before I went to Switzerland, I was craving myself to go to Switzerland. I'm sure everybody, you, me, anybody, every youngster, every married couple or just married couple or just to be married or any family would be Switzerland is a kind of destination that anybody would it's a pinnacle of a holiday,
Yeah, I know.
So
thanks to Yash Chopra. Yes.
Yeah. So even therefore diamond is also a pinnacle in jewelry. So we just try to match each other and try to give them an opportunity to go to Switzerland and also buy some diamond jewelry that they crave for.
Okay. Also tell us a bit about, I've never understood this. Why do you think Indians are so obsessed with gold per se? Why is there such an obsession with gold like no other country?
India is one among the BRIC countries. And why India became part of the BRIC is because India was conservative in its attitude towards savings. India had more of a savings mentality, and this savings was not in the form of cash or currency or bank accounts or anything, but if you believe it or not, 90% of the population in India has saved in the form of gold. Whether they have saved it in an unaccounted or accounted manner, they have saved, and that has helped the country fight through the recession. They have overcome the recession only because at the time when gold prices started shooting up, fortunately, a lot of households had a lot of gold lying in their lockers, and that helped them through the bad times, and they could manage their finances, and they got through it. And a lot of countries were surprised how India managed, but this is exactly the reason which I don't know even the finance minister wouldn't know today.
Absolutely. Gold is the savior of recession. That's something I learned from you today. Also for all my listeners out there, can you give us tips on how to pick up gold? What are some of the tips that you want to share with my listeners?
Well, now I would say there is no magic to picking up gold. See, it's all about saving money. You just have to make sure that you don't spend or splurge your money on unnecessary extravagances. You'll have to keep limited spending because all those are not going to take you far. They are more worldly. But then you're buying gold, leaving it, using it for some function, at the same time keeping it with you will appreciate in value. But if you buy a property, of course a lot of people need to have a dwelling place, but if you buy property, most probably your liquidity is sometimes stuck. You cannot sell your property, or you don't want to sell it. Whereas if you're not very emotionally attached to gold. When the prices go up, you can sell. You want to buy a property, you can sell. These kind of factors are there. So I'm saying even the youngsters should learn from their parents and their grandparents. They should try to save and possess some gold. Not for the sake, don't look at it in the old fashioned, it's an old fashioned style. It's no old fashioned. Everything comes like a cycle, Nothing is old fashioned. The bell bottoms are back in fashion.
Right.
Similarly, buying gold is back in fashion. So the youngsters should understand that gold is the safe haven, and so keep saving something to buy gold. Today, you don't have to wear yellow gold, you can wear white gold. You can wear, rhodium plated gold. So you don't have to worry. You can wear platinum. You can wear diamond jewelry. So somehow it should be in the form of gold, and keep it with you. So at some times of exigencies, it will help you.
It is going to bail you out in tough situations. If it has helped India in recession, it will help anyone. I was reading this article in the newspaper a few days ago about, how ineffective these schemes are, the saving schemes are, the loss that people make. Can you enlighten us on this, please?
I'll tell you. See, 2 weeks back, I saw an article in the Times of India. A journalist from Mumbai had written about the advantages of investing into ETFs. Immediately, I gave a call to my colleague who was with the Times. I spoke to him and I asked him who allowed this guy to write anything under the sun. Is this the way a newspaper should publicize? I mean, you should inquire in the market what is the truth about. Newspaper is something that is authentic. People believe and trust in a newspaper, the news that's coming in a newspaper. So I told him you should check in the market. He just writes anything and you just allow him to publish it. Rather, you could have spoken to jewelers like me or anyone who in the market. He says that jewelry schemes are no good and we charge high wastages and 30% and 40%, which we don't. We only help people buy gold. For example, 3 years back, I started my own scheme called the Gold Rush. I mean, I will tell you, this scheme was really a gold rush. Tomorrow, next month, my customers, almost 10,000 of them, are going to buy gold at 1,900 rupees, while others buy gold at 3,000. That's the kind of scheme that I introduced. And how can somebody say an ETF is better than ETF does not give you any returns, 3%, 4% returns. That's all. But this jewelry scheme helps people to save money in trenches. Also, we give them advantages like take care of the inflation, secured from the price rise. In fact, we went one step beyond and gave them the lowest price in 30 months. That's what some 10,000 families are going to enjoy in the coming months with KFJ.
Right.
We're going to give them gold at 1,900, believe it or not.
How does that happen? I mean, because business at the end of the day is about making profit.
In my younger days, I was always concerned about the people from the lower economic strata. So I came out with this scheme because I realized the prices of jewelry is going to shoot up sometime or the other. So I thought I should get into something where I let people invest and I safeguard them from the inflation. I made them invest. I got them to pay 3 installments in advance. I made an investment into the market. I bought gold through banks and secured myself and the customer.
Oh, wow.
So what I did is I made a saving for them of almost 1,000 rupees a gram. They paid in trenches for 30 months. But they bought jewelry at 1,900 and 1,500 respectively. See, of course, we have a profit which is only the making charges or the wastage charges. That's our profit. That's the only profit that we have. I mean, unlike what my competitors are today saying, take a look at the other jewelers, how they are charging, they're giving you gifts. All that is, I would say,
rubbish.
Rubbish, because we are giving the best that we can. We have made huge investments. So the jewelry business making 4, 5, 6% is very, very minuscule when compared to the apparel and the garment industry, which is making 30 and 40 and 50% comparatively. Exactly. No, if you realize, no competitor in the garment industry are fighting among themselves. But if you see, people in the jewelry industry are fighting for no reason, just to make sure that they get a huge chunk of customers. But then,
maybe that's their advertising strategy. You should put somebody down and you get people on
that's
board.
Not the way. No, that's not the way you say. That's not. I mean, in our Christianity, I'm a Christian, and in Christianity there are only 2 commandments: love the Lord thy God and love your neighbor. Is this the way one loves his neighbor?